Tyler, Texas is going through some major new developments, so stay tuned as we get into it. Hey everyone, thank you for checking out our newest video on living in Tyler, Texas. In today's video, we're going to break down some of the newest developments happening here in Tyler, Texas that are going to reshape the community and bring a lot more amenities to the area. We're going to talk about the Bellwood project on the west side of town. We're going to look at the downtown renovations, including the new courthouse, the plans for the new square, the new hotel that's coming in there, as well as Parkside development that's going to be on the south side of town, right across from the newer shopping center. It's going to bring a lot of different retail, restaurant type space, green space, possibly venue space, things like that. So let's check it out. So first up is the Bellwood development on the west side of town at Earl Campbell Parkway in Loop 323. You're going to have mixed use approach for this development. You're going to have some retail space. You're going to have commercial development for office buildings, things like that. You're going to have restaurants as well as housing from single family and multifamily. So when we talk about the housing mix, you're going to have a mixture of single family homes. You're going to have apartments. You're going to have townhomes and things like that to give you multiple types of living options. You're going to bring in different groups of people. You know, single family will typically attract more families with kids and things like that. The townhomes could also bring in, you know, an older group of people who want less to deal with, and the apartment housing, you know, which will kind of fit all groups in between. So you're going to have specialty retail, restaurants, and other commercial office buildings there as well. You know, I think what this is going to do is kind of transform the west side of town a little bit. It's going to bring, you know, what is kind of on this part of the west side is not entirely industrial, but it's more commercial based. There's not a ton of residential on the west side of the loop, so you start to move further out of town. But I think this is going to bring more people to that area and kind of transform that area just to have more to do, which could in turn see further development around this area for more housing and such. So the developer's goal primarily for this is kind of to develop and change the west side of Tyler. You're going to attract professionals, families, and other groups of people to this area in order to, you know, provide more amenities on this side of town. What it's going to do, kind of like we referenced, is just kind of going to bring more people to the west side of Tyler. And likely with the development like this, we're going to see the west side continue to grow, probably not at the same rate that we've seen the south side, but over time, I think the south and west is going to be kind of the areas that kind of blow up more in Tyler. So what that also means in Tyler generally is you're going to have more amenities, you're going to have more jobs, so you're going to see more growth, more economic upside and things like that, which is always great for a city in terms of tax revenue, quality of life, things of that nature are just going to improve significantly, specifically on the west side of town. But I think a development like this is even going to just improve the growth and demand for people to be in Tyler generally. So the developer's overall plan is to establish about 500 single family homes in addition to the condos and the apartments. So you're going to bring a significant population growth to the west side of town. Additionally, they're going to have commercial pads and things like that to develop bigger businesses. Brookshire's should be completed here soon. The Harley-Davidson store is moving over there. So you're going to have other types of significant commercial and retail spaces being built in and around the Bellwood area. There's also potentially room for hotels, other senior living facilities and things like that going to be in this area that are proposed. A lot of that stuff will kind of take time to develop before we know what the final product will actually look like, but in terms of what they're presenting and hoping for, this is kind of on their radar. So in terms of timelines, it's already started. We've got the first place that opened was a Chick-fil-A kind of on the corner there of Earl Campbell and the Loop. Additionally, Brookshire's has already started clearing out their area, so I would expect that to begin pretty soon, in addition to, you know, being up and running, I would say by, you know, middle or late next year. There's also a coffee place currently, but the overall completion should be near the end of 2026 to where we really start to see the retail and commercial space take shape. So I think overall what this means is the value of the things around this development are going to increase. So if you're an investor, it could be a great place to buy surrounding areas, buy homes in that area, buy land, things, you know, with a mile or two proximity, because overall this type of development should bring in more desire and demand for the area, in turn increasing the overall value of what's around it. All right, let's transition to downtown. So over the past 5 or 6 years, I would say downtown has kind of gone through a revitalization to where now everything is full. You've got kind of premier eating areas. There's not a ton of retail on the square currently, but I would expect that to probably change in the future. But because of that growth and the desirability to improve downtown, the city is taking steps first to improve the square specifically. So they've recently demoed the courthouse and they're erecting the new one currently, which is really pretty incredible to see. Additionally, the whole square is going to open up and have significantly more green space, going to make it much easier to walk, have places to sit, and really kind of enjoy the downtown area, which hasn't necessarily been the case in recent years, just because it is a smaller footprint with where the waterfall was and all that. But it's going to increase in size significantly, kind of making downtown more of a destination type area for our city. In addition to the new courthouse, there is a new hotel coming in. It's going to be an 11-story hotel called the Blackstone Hotel. It's going to sit next to the Regions Bank building and going to have like a rooftop pool, a restaurant with a patio like on this, I think, second or third story. So you're going to get great views of downtown while eating there. So overall, these few things I think are going to really kind of drastically improve the appeal and make people come to downtown more. So from a real estate perspective, what I think this is really going to do to downtown specifically is going to continue to increase the prices of those areas. I think typically we had kind of seen everything south of downtown being the primary point where people buy and we see the most appreciation. And I think that's going to continue probably at similar rates. But what I think could change is some of the stuff on the east and the north of downtown becoming more valuable than previously, just because of what it all is going to be there. There's going to be a lot more people coming and going to downtown. So I think it provides an opportunity for some long-term holds as it comes to completion and fruition over time, that these places are going to just be more desirable generally. And anytime you can buy property in an up and coming area, you're almost always going to be on the right side of appreciation. You know, we're in a little bit slower market right now, so there's definitely a lot of opportunities out there to buy properties that are in close proximity to downtown. So if you could get into something right now, I think you definitely have a lot of room for upside. All right, now let's talk about the south side. So Parkside is designed to fill the retail and entertainment gap in South Tyler. With more than 600,000 square feet of space planned, it's going to host high-profile retailers, restaurants, entertainment, and venue space, as well as walking trails, green areas, and it's going to be positioned right across from the Cumberland Village area, which is the new retail space, and adjacent to Faulkner Park. So you're going to have access to plenty of shopping, things to do, things to get out and move around and just be kind of in the heart of what Tyler's going to offer in terms of all the amenities from restaurants, retail, activities, and that kind of thing. So you're gonna have over 600,000 feet of restaurant, retail, and entertainment type space. Additionally, BJ's Wholesale Club has already committed to coming there, which is gonna be a big type box store. I think very similar to Sam's. You're gonna have 16 fuel pumps and things like that as well. You're gonna have plenty of pads for smaller sites with restaurants, other shops, and things like that that are separate from the shopping center that will be standalone. But additionally, with all the green space and venue space, I think it's gonna be a real hub for people to come and enjoy Tyler. The timeline has already started. We don't have real specifics yet on when it's going to be completed. You're going to see phase 1 take shape first, which is going to be the area on the north side of the Parkside development where they've already started all the groundwork, building the infrastructure and things like that. So generally, I think this development is going to have the most upside for what Tyler could be as a town. It's going to provide kind of a big city type feel in terms of amenities and that type of place. You see these types of developments all across the Metroplex and multiple big cities, and Tyler is really kind of lacked in that area. And I think this is going to kind of start to move Tyler into a bigger type of destination, but still not really make a lot of sacrifices from what you will find in like the Dallas or Fort Worth or even some of the bigger North Dallas cities. Similarly to the downtown area, I think this is only going to improve the value of a lot of the homes within a close proximity. We saw some of the values of the homes go up. Other shopping center was built, so I expect once this is done, it's going to increase the value of those homes even more. So to recap, we've got the Bellwood development happening right now on the west side of Tyler. The downtown transformation is continuing and will hopefully be done in the next 12 months or so. The hotel's probably on a little bit longer time horizon. I would guess 2 to 3 years for it. And then I think the Parkside development, probably just knowing how some of that stuff works, you're probably going to be in a 2 to 3 year window before we really start to see it take shape. But what it means is Tyler's not just growing, it's really evolving. We're moving from a smaller town with limited amenities cities to an extent by comparison to some of the major metros, but really improving the infrastructure and the options that you have to improve the quality of life when you live in Tyler. So I'm super excited to see these things continue to develop. If you've got questions or have any feedback, drop us a comment. We would love to chat with you and see what your thoughts are on all the development coming to downtown Tyler. As always, thanks for checking out our latest video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We would love to get your feedback. And if you're thinking about making a move, don't forget we are your friend in real estate and would love to be a resource for you if you're thinking about making a move to Tyler, Texas. We help families every day make East Texas their home, and we would love to be a resource for you.